Hey, family, it's Dr. Pyant, Mindset for Freedom. How are you? Oh, I hope you're doing well. You know, I always want you to be doing well. So let's take a breath. Breathe in through your nose. Hold that to a count of four and think of something or someone that makes you feel good. Okay, let's do that again. Take a deep breath through your nose and just hold it for four. Breathe into the count of four and hold it. Count it in your mind without interfering, but just imagine someone or something that makes you feel good. There's something that makes you feel good, or someone, even if it's an animal, if it's a place that you went to, a place that you go, something that you do. I'm preparing you for it right now because I want you to be able to do it before our session, before I talk to you, because I want you to be in consciousness mode. I want you to be alert and conscious. And a lot of times we go through the day and we're doing this and that and so many other things, or so much is just happening. Who knows what you were doing before you clicked on? So now I want you to click in. So let's take that breath together. Okay? Let's do it. Now release it slowly through your mouth, very slowly. Let your shoulders drop and just feel the space that you feel within yourself, within your head. That's what breathing does. That's what specific types of breathing does. And I want you to embrace that and take those breaths during the day. Take some time out for yourself, okay? Because it's about self care. So, yeah, self care. Today I wanted to talk to you about self care, caring for yourself. Not that we don't, but sometimes we just don't take enough time, to focus on our needs, on the things that we need to do. Yeah. So let's just talk about that because a lot of times people that have been diagnosed, and I'm talking about a diagnosis now, with depression, with PTSD, with autism, being bipolar, you name the negative trend of diagnoses that could have been thrown at you, anxiety. I mean, everybody has anxiety. But let me tell you something. One of the ways to combat that thing, when you're in combat, you taking a gun and you shooting at the enemy. Uh-huh. That's what we talk about. One of the ways to combat anxiety, a feeling of depression, a feeling of feeling suppressed, a feeling of feeling like you want to do nothing. You just don't want to be bothered. You're just in a funk, scrolling all day or just doing nothing. Let me show you or talk to you first about some things that you can do to help you to change that mode because it all has to do with your mind. It all has to do with the way this is functioning. And a lot of times, those of us that have been through different types of trauma, and like I said before, I don't know anybody that hasn't been through or is still experiencing some types of trauma. But God has delivered me and has delivered you. And the reason why we know that we have been delivered, that we are an overcomer, is because we're still here. We are still here. That thing that overtook us that seemed like it was just so much, that it was great, and it was. And it was, but I want you to remember this. You, me, we are overcomers. We overcame that situation, and God has purpose. So always think of the thing that has happened to you. Go back in your mind sometimes and just remember and say, what was the lesson that I could have learned from that thing? What lesson do I take away from that? And then let it go. Don't suppress yourself with all of the bad, quote unquote, things that have happened in your life because stuff happens to everybody. And if we label it bad, That's when the pressure comes. That's when the depression comes. That's when you lose that focus on self care and compassion. You can have kindness for a lot of people, but sometimes my people, my family, I'm talking to you, you don't have kindness and compassion for yourself. So identifying those things that have happened, but not in the sense of, oh, yeah, you don't know what happened to me. I know what happened to you because it happens to all of us. Maybe not exactly, but stuff happens to us all. We can take a piece of paper and make a list of things that have happened to us. But the one thing I want you to do when you make that list, I want you to say, overcame, overcame, overcame. I overcame that because I am an overcomer. Don't you let that devil from wherever he comes from try to suppress you into some label of depression. I don't care if you have signs and symptoms. So what? You think our ancestors didn't have signs and symptoms of stuff? Everybody goes through stuff. But perception, now that we are awake, now that we are aware, now that we are spiritually conscious, we can go and take a look at that thing and say, yeah, but I'm an overcomer. And there might be some things that have still got you bound. You still fighting. We all gonna fight. But honey, we're gonna fight the good fight. We're gonna fight the good fight. And you know what the good fight is? The good fight is having knowledge. The good fight is knowing how things operate. Because when you know how things operate, what makes the car go? Gasoline. So what makes you do what you do? What's making you do it? That's right, your mind. And most of the time, it's your subconscious mind. It is the mind that is not conscious, but is the mind of habit. So I want to tell you, don't worry, don't stress. The mind of habit is with us all. But what I want you to step away from today is that I am an overcomer. Now take that breath, and I want you to say, I deserve to be kind to myself. It is time. And I am awake. And I don't know if this is for you, but do you want to stay awake? You see, because it's so easy to wake up, to listen to my